Okay, remember that they're changing my voice. So this video is about my response to the Charlie Kirk video where it says that he crushed the claim that America is racist. It's titled, Charlie Kirk Crushes America's Racist Claim. I'm going to make another video. It might even be 3 videos because I actually wrote a bit of a paper on this. But this video is going to be the quick version. In a nutshell, since about 1980, millions of white people in America alone, have testified to their friends and family, to black people, you name it, that they've witnessed racism in their life. Maybe their boyfriend, maybe their dad won't let them date a black guy, what have you. So to say that America is not a country full of racists, which is what is usually meant when people say America is racist, is stupid. To say that that has no effect on the institutions here, maybe the civic institutions, government institutions, schools, is insane. There are 1,000 hate groups in America. There's probably about 20,000 members of the Klan right now, but they say there's over 10,000 members. And there's sympathizers. Not everyone who is someone with a Klan ideology is in the Klan. So that's one of my main points here for this video, that it is delusional to pretend that America doesn't have a huge problem with racism when millions of white people themselves since 1980 have testified to that. White people in America. Now there's other people who come from other countries who have witnessed things that were racist here as well. Especially when we're talking about red states. Can you imagine someone thinking that there's no racist conservatives in red states, or there's hardly any? I mean, it's very delusional. So when we look at the empirical evidence and the witness testimonies, even if it's just white people alone, it tells a story. But now add all the testimonies of people of color in America to those testimonies. We are talking tens of millions of people here. So my next point is pretty straightforward here. It takes money to make money. If it takes money to make money, and black people, when I was younger, they said black people were about 13% of the population, own less than 1/2 of 1% of the capital. Okay, it's recently, in recent years, supposedly risen to 4% or so, and I think that it's logical to assume that a lot of that has to do with a lot of them breeding with other races. You know, the crypto Jew movement here in America is strong as they're trying to support Israel. There's a lot of gay agenda stuff going on here, and a lot of black people who put money over their sexual orientation have changed their sexual orientation. A lot of gays have been given financial opportunities they used to not have, and as a result, you know, black people have gotten a little bit more money. And of course there's other things going on as well here. So if it takes money to make money, and the system's historically designed to prevent black people from getting money, it is stupid to say that America isn't racist and that every college student has the same opportunity. For example, my older brother has a degree in business, has a master's degree in business from Pepperdine, which I was told is often considered the top business school in America. Now, he doesn't make very much money. He had to go into real estate as well, so he has his broker's license as well. And he's basically broke all the time, okay? And he told me he applied to over 200 jobs, okay? At what point do you say, well, what the hell is going on here? When you couple that with the employment rate of black people being around 93%, so they're obviously trying hard to work and trying to make it, okay? You couple that with all these black people with college degrees who don't have jobs, you say, well, what's going on here? Well, I'm not saying that other races don't have a hard time. The economy is very poor. I've looked into it. I have logical plans to fix it. People are ignoring me. And part of the reason why they're ignoring me is because they're trying to maintain white supremacy. I'd say they're ignoring me because they're trying to maintain a sort of sadistic white supremacy more than they're ignoring me because I'm black. Okay. You hear people say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And how many people have said that? And they say it's not what you know, it's who you blow. And this is a very common saying, especially in corporations. Also, it's a dog-eat-dog culture, it's a rat race, what have you. So the people who would argue that America isn't racist are ignoring the testimony of tens of millions of Americans. Millions of them are white. And they're saying, well, everyone's treated fairly here, including black people or something. That is insane. They've let their denial become delusion. At what point do you realize that the overwhelming amount of evidence that is sound evidence, not fabricated evidence, not a fabricated college study, not scientific studies that contradict each other, but sound evidence that witness testimony of tens of millions of people, millions of them white. At what point do you say, okay, it is a racist country, and because millions of Republicans have gotten together to pretend that's not the case, they've overkilled, that they've caused a lot of harm. Denial of racism exacerbates racism, it worsens racism, it increases the psychological stress on the victims. And I basically proved my point to a T in this video, and all of you know it.